Hey guys, welcome back. Got some information for you. Let's change this up a little bit. We're going to bring just some extra little unique things into this just to change it up. So tonight we'll probably go just a little longer than we usually do. News, we have some news for you at the end, okay? So if you don't want to hear all this, you can fast forward to the news at the end. It's up to you. So let's go through comments. You guys posted some comments, and I've been trying to be more diligent about, going through the comments and thanking you guys as well, but to go through your comments to try to help you guys out. So let's look at what we have. So Mr. Carlos Gonzalez at the top there, he says he doesn't think the rate change will wait until next year. He thinks the rate change will happen uh, pretty soon or very quickly because he thinks that the rate change is needed to be used as a tool to kind of benefit and promote Trump for the elections, okay, to help him. But let's talk about that. The only way that the rate change could actually help Trump, okay, would be if the based on the economy. That's it. So the only way that the rate change could help the economy is the rate would have to change, and then people would have to start spending money, um, buying businesses, buying houses, buying cars, start spending money. Okay, guys, that whole process from exchanging the money to put it into your bank to go buy a house, then to maybe buy a business, guys, you're talking that whole process takes 3 to 6 months. Not you can't It can't be done in 30 days. So if you were kind of thinking that the rate change will actually help promote Trump for reelection because of it impacting or improving the U.S. economy, that can't be done in 30 days. Just wanted to share that with you. So now, Mr. Jerry Thomason, let's look at this one. Hasn't been time, sudden change. Let's talk about that prophetic word. So, and Jerry, I'm not going to attack you, buddy. I'm just trying to help you out, okay? Um, Many different gurus have tried to quote and share a lot of Kim Clement's prophecies, and most people, you can't really put an opinion onto a prophetic word, guys, because it just flat, that if you have to put just a plain opinion on it, that means you don't understand it, and you're just going to ruin it for your audience. And if you guys noticed, I've shared a lot of prophetic words with you lately, and I really remove my opinion from them. I leave the prophetic words in the natural for you guys to hear them in the natural without my opinion. I do that out of respect so I don't ruin them for you. But let's talk about this. So Jerry, you say hasn't been time, sudden change. That's you only shared a third of the prophetic word. Okay, so that makes it right there. Maybe means you probably don't understand it. It actually had three parts to it. He said hasn't been time, sudden change. Right after that, he said three nothings, then suddenly. Then a little later, he actually said four nothings and suddenly. So it has three parts to it, which are basically two nothings suddenly, three nothings suddenly, four nothings and suddenly, guys. What that is in faith is God never gave us a year for the rate change. That's your time frame indicator right there when the rate's going to change. If you can decode that, that'll tell you when the rate's going to change. That's what that is. That is your time frame indicator for the rate change right there. Okay? I actually have one for it I came up with, but in order for me to share it with you guys, that means I have to give you a date, and everybody cries when I share dates, so I'm done. Not doing it. So I'll let you guys. But there's a couple of you that I've shared it with privately. Okay, there's a few of you, and after I shared it with you, actually strongly agreed with me. Like, wow, I never would have thought of that, and you guys agreed. And you know what? If I've shared it with you privately, throw it out there. Don't say what I said, but you could come out and brag a little bit and say, oh yeah, he shared it with me privately, and it does make sense what he shared. So I just decoded it in my own personal opinion with a few individuals. So anyway, but that is your time frame indicator right there for the rate change. The 2-0 suddenly, 3-0 suddenly, and 4-0 suddenly. Let's go down. All right, what else do we have? Hold on. There was one in here that hold on. There was one here that was kind of a unique one that. Okay, it's Pashka. Pashka says right up here. You guys can't see my mouse, but hold on. Shoot. Hold on. I clicked on Pashka's. No. Okay, hold on, guys. I apologize. I got to go back into that video and. Hey guys, welcome back. Oh, let me hold on. The video's talking. Let me go back to that comment, Pashka. Okay, where was it at? Where was he at? Oh, there it is. Poska, it's in the middle. Okay, Poska says, Jeff, I don't understand. The citizens are making anywhere from 2 to 4 million IQD per month. So in the rate changes, basically he's thinking they're going to become, that they could be a millionaire and making them a billionaire. Well, that's not the case, guys, because when the rate changes, you guys have heard me tell you that the budget figures will change from trillions of dinar to billions of dinar. That's the deletion of the zeros, guys. It's the same thing happens on their pay scales. If they're making millions of dinar each month, it'll transition from their pay scale will reduce from millions of dinar down to thousands of dinar. It's that simple. That's your reforms they're talking about. That's the whole reason, guys, why the budget got kicked back this week on Monday from Parliament back to the Council of Ministers. They have to amend it. It has reforms in it. They're reducing government officials' pay scales. Okay? That's because the deficit, most of the deficit in the budget is from the internal and external borrowing to fund the reforms that are inside of it, guys. Part of this, in fact, I actually just let you into one of the little tidbits on the reforms. They're reducing the government officials' pay scales, and to do that, okay, part of that will be when the rate changes. Their salaries would reduce if they get paid in the millions. It reduces from millions to thousands. Okay, deletion, removal of the zeros. Okay, so Poshko, hopefully that helps you out, buddy. Let's keep moving on here. Let's see if there's anything else that really stood out that I could help you with, and then we'll get into the next part that I wanted to share with you. All right, so what a heck, man, bud. He's what a heck, man. You've been with me for a long time, dude. So I'm not gonna pick on you. I'm just gonna tease you more. He's always one of my guys that always think the glass is only half full, not half empty. So he doesn't think the rate's gonna change this year. He thinks we might wait more time. He's looking more to next year. That's his opinion. So I just teased him, and those of you that speak Spanish, you're gonna understand this. I said, bro, you're smoking too much mota. Okay. So, all right. So here's what we got, guys. Before I get into the next item, I just want to share this. I'm not going to. I've captured some comments and posts from other gurus just to bring some other theories into this and showing you, kind of what others might be saying and all that. So we could just kind of compare notes. Let's see. But again, I'm going to do this as kindly as I can, so that I'm not attacking. Some of this stuff, guys, it's very easy to attack, and because some of this information is way out in left field, so I'm going to be as gentle as I can. So let's see what I got. Okay. So here's Guru Frank and Walking Stick. Now, just so you guys know, Frank supposedly is a guru that has a whole team of people in Iraq, and Walking Stick also owned banks and ATMs in Iraq and supposedly employed when he recently supposedly had cancer, so he had to sell his portion of the bank business because it was a partnership. So he sold his portion of it, and supposedly they employed around 500 people between all the banks and ATMs they owned, again, in the country of Iraq. Now, here's what I will tell you. I've looked at a lot of their claims. You look at their claims, they're way out in left field, okay? And I'm going to tell you something here that strikes a huge one with me. Not one person, and again, supposedly all these people are in the country of Iraq, and Walking Stick owned banks there. No one from his group who literally operate out of the country of Iraq, not even Delta, not one of them guys are smart enough to realize that Iraq's fiscal year has changed as of this year from April to March, okay? Not one of them, including a former bank owner in the country of Iraq. And that's the reason why that's so critical, because if they were smart enough to know Iraq's fiscal year, the fiscal year has everything to do with the timing of the rate change. It can only happen at the beginning of the fiscal period or the middle of the fiscal period. That's it. Okay? Not one of these guys have ever been able to share that with you to help kind of pin down or identify the timing of the rate change. Let's look at what they said in this one. This one, it says the white papers, in our opinion, contain the HCL, the new exchange rate of the Iraq dinar, the date when they will release it, also contains the agreement, the process, the execution of it, all that. Right here, they're telling you the HCL's in it. What they're not smart enough to tell you is, okay, it's a 3-year budget. The reason it's a 3-year budget is because they had to commission the reforms in phases and stages, basically over a period of 4 years, from 2020 clear out to 20 21, 2, and 3. So clear out to 23. That's why they had to spread. That's why they're after the year of 2020. That's why they're doing a 3-year budget, is to spread out and implement the reforms over a 4-year period. Okay. Notice HCL and Article 140, guys. They're not going to borrow money for that. That's money they're giving back to the citizens. They're not going to borrow money for that and go into debt to give money back to the citizens. Those level of reforms can only be implemented when oil prices have reached approximately $60 a barrel. Okay, but yet they're not smart enough to tell you this anywhere in these posts. That's for that reason alone, guys. I could never listen to any of these other gurus. All they do is talk with a bunch of hopium. That's why they have, upwards of 12,000+ followers, subscribers on YouTube, because their audiences don't know how to think for themselves. They're all sheeples, and they have to be spoon-fed. So I don't know. It's just amazing that people swallow and absorb this kind of information that's way out in left field. But anyway, let's look at the next one. Some of these are just comical. Here's another one. It says, why are they, U.S. and Iraq, going to do the first currency swap? What he's talking about, he's literally talking the rate change. The rate change steps, he's calling them currency swaps, okay? He's also basically calling the budgets like a currency swap as well. So he says in bolder black, he says the first swap will occur at the program rate and will occur at the program rate. It'll fill the cupboards of the United States, the Treasury, and low-costing dinar. So he says, he's basically saying that the first budget / rate change, he's basically saying that there's more than one rate change. He says the first one will occur at the program rate, and then the second one will be at a newer increased rate, okay? And guys, that's not happening. Let me reshare this with you. This is coming from a group of people that claims to have people in the country of Iraq, and they're not even smart enough to know when the real fiscal year is in the country, okay? Especially one of whom, which was a former bank owner in the country of Iraq. A bank owner should know all about fiscal years more than anybody because they operate and work off that, okay? So that kind of shocks me. But here's the thing, though. They're saying there's going to be 2 rate changes, one at the program rate, and then the second rate change, which will come in alignment. See, if we look at the bottom, it says right here, he says, in his opinion, the budget will come out ready with a new exchange rate. So he's trying to say that the higher rate change will not come the higher rate change will come and be included in the 2021 budget, and that the 2020 budget has a lower rate change at the program rate. Okay, so guys, this information is so far out in left field. It's just chaos. And these guys aren't even smart enough to realize what is really inside the budgets. I mean, right here, he's not even able. He doesn't even understand what's inside the 2020 budget. He doesn't understand the internal, external borrowing in there. He doesn't understand there's any reforms inside the 2020 budget that has to have financing. He's not even smart enough to tell you that they're hiding the 2020 budget figures from you. So anyway, it's just very surprising that a lot of dinar investors swallow and absorb this type of hopium. So anyway, guys, just trying to show you some other things out there and what others are saying. All right, let's get into the news. All right, guys, we got some good stuff here. So let's see what we have. All right, here's the news. All right, first article, guys, this came out. You guys most of us saw this today. It's basically saying that Iraq has exited from the list of high-risk countries. That's the same as the OFAC list in the U.S., where our amazing individual, that works in a very high-level banking institution, okay, had anyway. So right here, Iraq's announcing they're basically getting exited from the European Union, other high-ranking personalities, all that. So that's what it's. So basically, this has to do with getting exited through the UN. The UN's kind of mediating this or assisting and aiding, but they're basically getting removed from being considered a high risk, which is like the European OFAC list, from being considered a high risk country pertaining to terrorism within Europe. So very good article. We don't need to do that. You guys saw that this morning. I shared that with you. Here's another one telling you the same thing. Iraq is, with the guidance and aid of the UN, is being removed from being considered a high-risk country throughout Europe. Okay. The central bank establishes a banking relationship with Euroclear. This is an older article, guys. This is from September 8th, earlier this year. The Central Bank of Iraq announced today, Sunday, the establishment of banking relationship with the Euroclear Bank to stimulate global practices in the field of services. In a statement received by Shafak News, the bank said the procedures for establishing a banking relationship with Euroclear have been completed, indicating that the latter is one of the most internationally known institutions in the field of securities preservation and investment, and it manages bonds for central banks estimated at 15 trillion USD. The bank added this achievement will contribute to strengthening the international relations of the Central Bank of Iraq, stimulating global practices in the field of reserve management. Next article. The Anti-Corruption Committee will bring down big heads soon. So, as you guys know, there's going to be a fall of corruption in the fall, according to Kim Clement prophetically. So this right here is just kind of expanding on that. The Anti-Corruption Committee will bring down big heads soon. So they're just saying that sometime soon they're gonna be announcing a whole bunch of high-profile individuals that are being brought down on corruption. Okay. So let's look at the next article, explaining the reasons for the government's withdrawal of the budget and an unprecedented violation in the Iraqi state. Guys, I've kind of already here. Let's read it, and then the guys, you may not realize it, but this article has everything to do with reforms that are inside the 2020 budget. Okay, I'll touch on that at the end after we read the article. The Parliamentary Finance Committee revealed the reasons for the government's withdrawal of the draft federal budget from the year of 2020. Committee Jamal Cougar. The government will face a lot of criticism and problems after sending the budget to Parliament in its current form, indicating that it sent the budget to give a borrowing ceiling, but when I sent it, we noticed that the budget deficit is contrary to the financial management law. Again, guys, right there. The 2020 budget is contrary to the financial management law. Understand, the financial management law is the tools used to implement the reforms, okay, pertaining to the rate change. That is the tool used to bring forth the reforms according to and do it within the right regulations, regarding the rate change, guys. So that's huge. They're telling you right now the financial management law, okay, is linked and will be utilized within the 2020 budget right there. Financial management law, okay? So, and is unprecedented in the country. Iraq is being the largest of funding as it was 4 months ago in this year, and was spent on the basis of one of 12 months, which was a budget and not a budget. He explained that the government is preoccupied with the 2020 budget because it originally decided it was previously, and that it will not send a budget for this year, and that it is preparing for the 21 budget. But when it failed to obtain external borrowing of $5 billion, the government was forced, because it needs other loans and does not have foreign loans, to present the 2020 budget. It is one of the obstacles to allowing the government to borrow from two fiscal ceilings and send a new budget, Cougar added. The borrowing law is in effect until the budget is sent, and in fact it was sent by the government only to allow it to borrow again, but it did not return it to its law. So it became a major criticism of that it was forced to withdraw it more than once. He pointed out that the Finance Committee has submitted proposals to the government regarding the amendment of the retirement law, which is its right, and as it is a financial package, excuse me, on the basis we presented our proposals to the government, and it is looking at it. The Parliamentary Finance Committee announced earlier today that the government withdrew the 2020 budget bill from Parliament. Guys, let's talk about that. Why? Okay, it's because the deficit was too high. Why was the deficit too high? What what part of the budget is creating the deficit, guys? It's the borrowing, it's the borrowed money, it's the loans, internal, external. They said that the deficit in recent articles 45% of the actual budget. Guys, that's because it's the reforms. Okay, the reforms are what they had to borrow all the money for, internal, external, loans. I already went through all this with you. Okay, and so here's what they're doing. They're trying to reduce using the financial management law and some of the reforms contained inside the 2020 budget. They're trying to reduce the deficit. I'm going to tell you one of them. Okay, and we may have already talked about it a little bit ago. They're trying to reduce salaries. Okay, anyone who's being paid right now a salary of say 2 to 4 million dinar per month, their salaries will reduce 2 to 4,000 dinar per month, hence the deletion of the zeros. So that is how they're going to reduce salaries. Again, this is a reform requirement, and that's how they're going to do this to reduce the deficit. Okay, so there you go. There's reforms all over and inside that 2020 budget. Okay, so let's look at let's see if there's another article. KRG Finance and Economy runs first currency exchange source. After announcing plans to do this early in the month, the Kurdistan Regional Government Finance Economy Ministry ran a currency exchange on Wednesday, September 23rd in Erbil City. A source told NRT Digital Media that 35 million was exchanged. The Finance and Economy Ministry received 122,800 Iraqi dinars for each $100. The source said who spoke on the condition of the anonymity because they were not authorized to speak to the media, noting that the public treasury took in 600 million Iraq dinar, that's 501,000 US dollars as a result. From now on, if any money that is in the government's property and enters the region means Kurdistan, including oil money, it will be exchanged like that, the source added. On September 19th, the ministry said it would exert greater control over the exchange of US dollars and Iraqi dinars in the Kurdistan region, taking over responsibility for currency auctions from the central bank. Okay, so here they're finally announcing that the Kurdistan region is going to be taking over the full responsibility of the currency auctions from the Central Bank of Iraq. That's awesome, guys. This move comes as part of the effort by KRG to capture more internally generated wealth through stricter enforcement of taxation and fee collection. The government is facing a severe budget shortfall and is unable to pay its full public sector wage bill amid low oil prices and budget dispute with Baghdad. So it looks like the main Baghdad or country of Iraq is going to pass or hand over the responsibility of the currency auctions to the Kurdistan region to actually, manage it and get the profits off of that. Okay. All right. After everyone reputed the third party, a strategic expert reveals an upcoming deal between America and Iran. Today, Thursday, the strategic expert revealed the details of an expected deal between the United States and Iran. Al-Shamiri said in a tweet on his personal Twitter page that was followed that it is likely that the deal will be close between Washington and Tehran. He pointed out that everyone in Iraq disowned the third party as the deal approaches, and part of the reason the U.S. guys was so able to score this deal, it's because through all the Israeli agreements that were recently put in place, a lot of those were some of those were business buddies with Iran. They were able to turn these through trade deals. They were able to get these countries to turn their back on Iran, crippling them financially, forcing them to reach an agreement with the country of the United States so that Iran does not get crippled financially. Okay, Trump is one hell of a smart businessman. He's not a politician. So anyway, guys, there you guys go. Hope you enjoyed the news. You guys are the best. God bless you guys and have a great evening.